Crystal Palace fans have been in heaven. 3 trophies, wins over clubs with 10 times their budget.
So it tells you how difficult it is for us, but not only for us, for every team in the league to beat them.
And still, it seems like the mainstream media barely pays them any attention.
I cannot believe people aren't talking about this more. If any team had gone 17 unbeaten, I feel like it would be such a talking point.
They've beaten the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool in finals, yet they keep flying under the radar.
I need to ask this question in the context of Crystal Palace, because there'll be supporters of their club listening saying, hey, you're talking about Liverpool and Arsenal, we're up there in the top 3, we're in the best run of form in the land. We're Crystal Palace, we're proud of it.
Despite losing big players like Michael Olise and Eze, they continue to win games. So how exactly did Glasner take Palace from being mid-table merchants
It hasn't quite clicked in the same way this year so far
to a title-winning squad?
It also shows you what Glasner has built.
Playing Premier League, playing Carabao Cup, playing FA Cup and playing Europa League, 4 competitions, 4 titles to win. Let's go for every single one.
And they're playing really well, and they've got a really good coach.
18 games unbeaten. One of the biggest reasons why the Eagles have become so good is because of this man right here. He has done something that Ruben Amorim couldn't. He's actually winning games with a back 3.
There's too much discussion about the system, so the system is not important, the habits are important, the patterns, how you want your players to behave on the pitch, that's much more important.
For years, Crystal Palace were seen as a safe but unspectacular Premier League team. They were always mid-table, never pushing for Europe, and never winning a major trophy. By early 2024, things looked rough. Under Roy Hodgson, the team had dropped to 16th place and won just 2 of their last 13 games. Fans were frustrated, holding up banners about wasted potentials and poor decisions from the club. Hodgson eventually stepped down in February, saying it was time for a change.
Crystal Palace have just confirmed that Roy Hodgson has stepped down from his post as first-team manager.
And that's when Palace turned to Oliver Glasner.
Crystal Palace have now confirmed that their new manager replacing Roy Hodgson will be Oliver Glasner.
Fresh off winning the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt, Glasner came in with a reputation for quick turnarounds and an attacking approach that the board hoped would shake things up.
Not only was he able to have success in the Bundesliga, but he was then able to have the very successful campaign in the Europa League. They were absolutely outstanding.
Glasner took over in February of 2024 and inherited a team that looked drained of confidence. Palace hadn't won a league match in months, and at first, the results didn't improve overnight.
Palace came so close to winning it right towards the end, but it finishes level.
A familiar story for Palace. Another late goal has really cost you.
The squad needed time to adapt to his methods. Some pundits even wondered if he'd really made a difference. But Glasner stuck to his ideas, and slowly, the players got on board.
I wasn't concerned about them going down, but I thought teams maybe had worked him out a little bit. But to be fair to him, when I look back now on his interviews and stuff, how calm he was, and he knew he had some players missing. He ended up. Well, I know Chalobah's gone now, but they brought Lacroix in, which was a great signing. He's done really well for him. That back 3 cemented itself, and all of a sudden the results started picking up. But
by the end of that season, Palace looked like a completely different side. They went on a strong run, losing only 4 of their last 24 games, and they were one of the top performing teams in the league during that stretch. From being close to a relegation fight, Palace ended the year with momentum and belief, setting the stage for what was to come. When Glasner came in, the first thing that he changed is the way that Palace played. He set up an organized system that focused on staying solid at the back, but dangerous going forward. He wanted his side to be well drilled and very difficult to break down. Most of the time he used a 3-4-2-1 formation with wingbacks, which keeps the team compact defensively and then allows them to attack quick when they win it back. The difference in defense has been huge. Since Glasner's first game, Palace have been one of the best defensive teams in the league, near the top in clean sheets, shots allowed, and expected goals against. Marc Guéhi and Lacroix have built a rock-solid partnership. You have Tyrick Mitchell playing the best football of his career.
Tyrick Mitchell does so well. Off the line by Tyrick Mitchell.
The intelligence from Tyrick Mitchell.
Tyrick Mitchell wraps it up for Crystal Palace.
And now even someone like Chris Richards looks like a completely new player full of confidence. As we will see later in the video, the man completely locked Haaland up. A perfect example of how good Crystal Palace are at defending can be seen in their win over Aston Villa in the FA Cup semi-final in the 2024-2025 season. If you want to show someone what an effective mid-block press looks like, show them this game. Glasner didn't send his team flying forward to press high. Instead, Palace set up in a smart mid-block, basically defending around the halfway line and waiting for the right moments to pounce. Villa liked to build up slowly from the back, with players like Yuri Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara pulling the strings in midfield. Glasner's plan was very simple, just cut off their supply. Eze, Sarr and Mateta stayed narrow, blocking passes into Villa's double pivot. Whenever the ball went wide, Palace's wingbacks like Munoz and Mitchell stepped up quickly to press, while the center backs kept tight on Villa's attacker. The pressing triggers were actually very obvious. When the ball shifted across the back line or out to the fullbacks, Palace jumped. Mateta blocked the passing lanes into Tielemans, Sarr closed down the center backs, and Eze dropped in to stop Kamara from getting on the ball. That forced Villa to keep recycling the ball backwards, with Palace squeezing them into wide areas where they were less dangerous. The pressure led directly to goals. For the opener, Villa tried to switch the play quickly, but Munoz pressed Lucas Digne, forcing a mistake. Sarr then blocked a pass forward, set up Eze, and he buried it. Palace scored all 3 of their goals by winning the ball high up and striking fast. Eze with the first, then Sarr adding 2 more after turnovers in midfield. Palace didn't press recklessly, they pressed smart, and it took them all the way to another FA Cup final. Not only are Palace good defensively, but they've become a nightmare on the counter too. When they win the ball, they fly forward with speed. Sarr and Pino stretch defenses with their direct runs, while set pieces have also become a weapon. I mean, we saw them use a long throw routine to beat Liverpool.
The crawl forward, Richards as well. Still in there, danger, and Nketiah has won it for Palace.
Then you have Mateta up front, who has gone from an inconsistent striker to one of the most lethal in the league. Under Glasner, he's scoring regularly, and he looks like a striker reborn. Sarr, who used to only be a winger, has now been moved around, and is thriving in a more free attacking role. In midfield, players like Lerma, Adam Warren, and Kamada give Palace a nice mix of toughness and creativity. Warren in particular is a wonderful central midfielder, and one of the biggest reasons why Glasner's 3-back system works. Despite being so young, he already looks calm and confident in the spotlight. Ever since Palace signed him from Blackburn in January of 2024, Warren has stood out for the way he moves the ball. He gives me a really old school vibe, from the buzz cut hair to the low socks. This is not a guy trying to be an IG model. He's just there to play winning football. Sometimes he takes too many risks or loses the ball trying to force a forward pass, but that's part of what makes him so valuable. Against City, a team that presses high and leaves space behind, Palace needed exactly that. A midfielder brave enough to break the lines and switch play quickly. He doesn't just try to play safe passes, he looks for the ones that can actually change the game. That's why Warren's passing completion numbers look low, but his impact is high. No other midfielder in the Premier League attempted as many difficult passes per 90 as Warren. When it works, he pushes Palace from defense to attack in seconds. He's the one threading balls into wide spaces, sliding passes between midfield lines, and sparking the moves that really catch the opponent off guard. He is not scared to get it wrong, and that's exactly why Palace rely on him. All of these factors make Palace tough to play against. They're compact and disciplined when defending, but explosive and sharp when attacking. Glasner has given them a clear identity, a balance of grit with flair, and has turned them into one of the hardest teams in the league to beat. Crystal Palace's rise under Glasner has been filled with moments that nobody thought were possible. The biggest came in May of 2025 when they beat Manchester City 1-0 in the FA Cup final to win the club's first major trophy in over 100 years. The build up to that match was crazy, and it all started with the fans. The Holmesdale Fanatics spent weeks planning a huge tifo for Wembley. It showed a father hugging his 2 sons, a nod to a famous old Palace moment, and a reminder of what the club means to families. It set the tone for that match. This was way bigger than football. Glasner kept the players calm. No big speeches, same routines. The message to the team was very simple. Stay focused and stick to the plan. What was the plan? Well, Palace knew that they were massive underdogs. They knew that for most of the match, they were going to get pinned down like Bonnie Blue. So the goal was to soak up the pressure, stay compact and stay patient, and then hit City on the break. Palace had learned from a heavy league defeat: don't let City play into the pockets. Push them wide, keep your shape, and then wait to pounce. Early in the game, Dean Henderson made a string of saves to keep City out. And then, with almost their first real attack, Mateta and Munoz combined to set up Eze for the winning goal. From there, it was pure grit, defending deep, throwing bodies on the line, and holding on until the final whistle. City had most of the ball, but Palace stayed organized. Dean Henderson was immense. Big saves, a huge presence, and he even guessed right on a penalty. When it ended, Eze collapsed in tears, and Glasner was now a Palace legend. In the dressing room, he reminded them what he'd said in mid-season, that they could do something special, and they did.
My feeling was, guys, we can achieve big things. And from that moment when I felt it, I told you, yeah, because it makes sense if I feel it and Will says, "Oh, come on, we never win anything." So, guys, that was my feeling. Yeah.
For a club that had lived through near relegations and heartbreaks in finals, this was a massive payoff. Their first major trophy, and they booked their tickets to Europe. A few months later, Palace added another piece of silverware, the Community Shield. Against league champions Liverpool, they came back from behind twice to draw 2-2 with goals from Mateta and Sarr. In the penalty shootout, Dean Henderson was the hero again, saving 2 penalty kicks as Palace lifted their second trophy of the year. For a club that had never won anything major, back-to-back triumphs over City and Liverpool felt surreal.
You know, they've played some big games. They beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final. They drew with Liverpool in the league. They then beat them in the Community Shield.
As if that wasn't enough, Glasner was like, okay, let's win something in Europe as well. So Crystal Palace ended up winning the Conference League. It wasn't just about cup finals either. Palace had gone toe-to-toe with the Premier League's giants. They've taken points off of every Big Six side under Glasner, showing that they can compete with the best. I mean, just look at what they did to Liverpool in September of 2025. Palace dominated large parts of the game, scored early through Sarr, and even after Liverpool equalized late, they found a 97th minute winner through Eddie Nketiah. They Liverpooled Liverpool. That victory pushed their unbeaten run to 18 games. That win also put them towards the top of the Premier League table. They had outshot and outran a Liverpool side that was filled with big money stars.
They deserved to be up 2 or 3 goals in the first half. Created 3-4 very good chances. We were lucky that Alisson helped us.
These achievements prove just how far Palace have come. From a team that used to be happy with survival, they're now lifting trophies, they're breaking records, and beating the very best. Glasner's belief and tactics have given Palace a winning mentality that the club never had before. One of the most impressive things that Glasner has done is keep Palace pushing forward even after they've lost their best players. First, Olise left for Bayern Munich. Then Eze joined Arsenal. On paper, that should have seriously hurt Palace. They lost their 2 most creative players, and the squad looked weaker compared to the year before. Most people expected them to slide backwards. Glasner didn't let that happen. Instead of splashing money on random players, Palace actually used their budget wisely. They brought in players who fit Glasner's system. Lacroix to strengthen the back line, Munoz at wingback, and then attackers like Yeremy Pino and Eddie Nketiah. Sarr then came in and stepped up as both a scorer and creator. At the same time, Glasner also made the existing players better, like Mateta has transformed into French Drogba. The key thing is that Glasner has built a team where everybody has a role. Most squads would have completely broken down if they lost a player of the quality of Eze or Olise. But instead, Palace leaned into their teamwork and continued playing as one unit. While most clubs get worse after selling their best players, Palace somehow got better, proving that the system matters more than any single player.
How my approach to work, always the team first, team football, having togetherness and never give up. And so this was maybe the biggest learning of the Europa League.
The secret to Glasner's transformation of Palace isn't just one thing. It's a mix of smart tactics, great coaching, and a change in mentality. Tactically, Palace are built to play to their strengths. They defend in a tight, organized block, then explode forward on the counter or from set pieces. It means they can compete with teams that spend 10 times as much money as they do because they don't try and outplay them at their game. They stick to what works. Then on top of that, as I stated earlier, Glasner has been brilliant at improving players. Tyreek Mitchell and Chris Richards have all gone up another level. But maybe the biggest change has been the mentality. Palace play with confidence, whether they're defending in a mid to low block for 90 minutes or they're pressing the team up high. The players trust Glasner's plan, and it shows in their unbeaten run and their ability to win huge finals. When Palace hired him, the chairman, Steve Parish, said success followed Glasner everywhere he went. He wasn't wrong.
And the manager just believes he can win every single game. I've been talking about it. You know, everybody that's come along in the club has taken us up. Every single person's done something and contributed. And Oliver's come and taken us to another level.
Under Glasner, Palace aren't just surviving anymore or finishing mid-table. They're winning games, they're competing, and believing in themselves like never before.